What up, Buffet 2?
Hi, I'm John Baloyi.
Hi, this is Amanix.
Hi guys, this is Toby.
We are listening to B-Roll.
B-Roll
with Cyril Zuma.
Welcome to B-Roll. My name is Cyril Zuma. I am sitting across an amazing, beautiful, she's shining, she's smiling. I'm sitting next to an amazing traveler. She goes by the name of Noxolo Kapela. How are you, Noxolo?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm very great, actually. We were just talking offline of how to say your name, and I said, Kapela? How do you say your name?
It's Noxolo Kapela.
Kapela. So without the H.
Yeah, there's no H.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Welcome to B-Roll. Let me introduce you first before we get started. I will be chatting to a travel social impact content creator. I'll be chatting to Quasi magazine contributing writer, founder of AfroTravix. She also goes by the name of Black Case Girl. I want to ask you this question before we actually get started. I've already asked how are you. How was Youth Day?
Youth Day was perfect. I spent most of the time at home. And then in the evening, I went to Wolverspruit for a paint and food experience. So what you do there, you get a pottery and then you just start painting, and then in the process, you're also eating and sipping on wines. So it was great.
You never sit down, do you? Yeah, I don't think you sit down at all. I mean, every time I look at your Twitter, you are somewhere out there in the world.
I do.
You definitely enjoy traveling. For those who actually don't know who you are, I know I've introduced you already. Who are you actually?
I'm Noxolo Kapela. I'm from Butterworth. I'm number 5 of 8. So I come from a very big family. I've got 6 brothers and 1 sister. So I'm the youngest of the girls. And I stayed in East London for most of my life. And then I moved to Joburg in 2011. So I've been here since. In the process, I became a travel blogger, which I've been doing for almost 5 years now. Because of my love for traveling. I've been to different places, met different people, and I've been enjoying it. And in the process, I'm raising a daughter, and it's been a rough ride being a single mom in South Africa, but it's also been a very worthy experience, and I love where we are.
You've told me quite a lot about yourself. So you said you grew up in Butterworth.
Yeah.
And how was your childhood actually?
My childhood, it was okay. I think through everything that we went through at home, the main thing that kept us together or held the family tighter was the love we had for each other, the love that we still have for one another. Because my mom and dad, they separated, got divorced when I was 13, and my youngest brother was 3. So you can imagine it was tough. My dad was the only one working. So when he left with everything. Yeah. So my grandma had to pick up the pieces, and my mom had to start working because my dad was one of those that would say, my wife can't work, as if he had all the money.
We definitely won't go into that one. So tell me, have you and your siblings, or the 8 of you, or are you all travel enthusiasts?
No. I'm the only one. I'm the only one who's traveled. Most of my siblings are still in Butterworth.
Okay.
And the only one that branched out is my elder brother, because he's in PE. And during the whole time, we lost 2 brothers, but they were also in Butterworth. So I'm the only one that has branched out, and also my daughter now is starting to travel as well. So.
Okay, so how old is your daughter? I know that you travel quite a lot, and you mention on your blogs that you travel alone most of the time, and I'm sure you're looking forward to taking your daughter on travels with you.
Yeah, I've started that tradition already. She's 21. So we started traveling together when she was 16. Because sometimes when I go to these places, I will take her. And then her first international was going to Mozambique when she turned 18.
Wow.
So what I do with my daughter, when she turns a year older, I introduce her to something new. So this year, the theme is investment.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce her to investment. She's going to start investing from her own account so that she cannot land where I am. So she'll be much better.
She'll be much better off. Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at the travel side. You know, as a kid, I don't think I traveled quite a lot, or my parents showed me the travel life quite a lot as a kid. So it's really great that you're introducing her to the travel space and also just introducing her to different things. I think it's very, very important. Coming from a color space perspective, you know, I really am a fan of seeing Black people traveling. And so that's why I'm really a fan of what you do, and you showcase it so well. I think we were talking about this in a space on Twitter not so long ago, that, you know, there's not misrepresentation. There's a lack of representation in almost all the spheres that we work in, and travel is also one of them. You know, so you taking your daughter from an early age in traveling, that's really, really great.
Yeah.
How is solocation in South Africa?
Solocation in South Africa, I'll say it's you need to be mindful where you are. Mine has been Cape Town, Durban. My experience will be completely different from someone who's just started traveling.
Sure.
So what I do with those, I just put up a blog so that people can learn from those experiences. When I travel, I do city tours, because I feel like that's the only way you're gonna get to know more about the city. And once you are there, then you can pick out what you love, what you want to come back for.
Okay.
So if you are in Cape Town, do a city tour, and then you will find out that there's a lot of experiences that happen outside of the tour bus, so you can engage in those. So I'll say it's good. A lot of people are picking up on it. They've stopped waiting for their friends for them to travel. So yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good, and there hasn't been a lot of instances where people get robbed. Yes, you get hustled. We all get it, but yeah, it's been a good experience, judging from what everyone is saying. I've never had a situation while traveling solo.
Okay, so I mean, this is probably the question I will ask you now. Is, you know, it probably might have some brand in it, but what are some of the best places you've traveled to?
Okay,
that you'd recommend for solo people?
So I'm gonna definitely have to move out of Africa for this one.
Okay.
My best experience was in Switzerland.
Okay.
And I wasn't traveling solo, but I can definitely recommend it for women because it's very safe. Their transport system is interlinked, so you can book a bus or ticket, but if you feel like changing it to a train ride or a boat cruise, you can do that. So that for me means that you can never be stranded.
Sure.
So, and that is one of the things that people fear the most. And also, if you don't see a lot of visibility of police, just know you're safe.
Okay.
So in Switzerland, I don't even remember, or I can only tell you one time that we saw police, and also there was they were just there in one apartment, so there was not a commotion going on, but that was the only time I spotted them. So it's one of the safe countries I can recommend. And then coming back to Africa, I would definitely recommend Kenya. A lot of people have been traveling to Kenya, and I've been there and I loved what I saw. I feel like we don't get to travel within our continent a lot, but Kenya and Uganda, they felt like there are places that women can travel to, and also you don't even need other people to travel because it's very easy and it's safe.
You mentioned that you've been in the industry for quite some time. You said 5 years? Is it longer?
Yes, no, it's around about 5 years. It started in 2016 when I decided to just start documenting my travel. I've been traveling for more than 18 years.
Okay.
But in 2016, I decided to start documenting my travel, created a travel blog, and which has developed into a lot of things. started Adventure Travel Tribe, which is a group of travelers, people that enjoy adventure and hiking. I'm an adventure traveler. So all my travels, they include adventure. So even when we went to Bali, people will be shocked because what we did or what we went there for was not to sit at the beach. It was for us to do all the adventure stuff. So we did quad biking, river rafting, searched waterfalls, and all the adventure stuff. So that's how I travel.
Is this the You Totally Can squad?
Yes, yes and no.
Okay.
The You Totally Can squad specifically talks to women that hike.
Okay.
So that's the squad that we take wherever we go. So on every Saturday we hike. So those are those women. And then when we go to outside of the country or even within South Africa, that will be the You Totally Can squad because most of the time we are out to hike.
Okay.
And then what we do on if you go for a week, we'll spend maybe 3 days exploring. So yeah.
How is the travel space at the moment now? Just even within South Africa. Let's not even go to Kenya. Let's not even go to Uganda or anything like that. How is the travel space right now in South Africa?
Within the country, yeah. I've been fortunate enough to have scored at least 2 big holidays within the pandemic. So I've been to Cape Town and the Garden Route and the West Coast. So a lot has changed because now you need to be cautious where you are and what you do and who is next to you. So if you're at the airport, it's your responsibility to tell the next person, no, you are too close.
Yeah.
You need to take a step back. Some people won't take it. Some will just comply, but it's something, unfortunately, that we need to do. With the establishments, they've stepped up a lot. So now, but that stepping up meant we lose some of the privileges because now when you get to an establishment, you want to sit by the pool, you'll be told maybe you need to take turns. You can't all be there at the pool, so they can only allow a number of people, and that can mess up your schedule because when you visit, maybe you have 3 days in a city, you have limited time. So if you can't be at the pool when you want to be, you might end up not getting it at all. One other thing that has changed is the fact that we've seen a spike in accommodation. And people have been debating about it, and it's easy for other people to understand. But for people that always see all these nice places and would love to travel to them, it's been a slap on the face because now it has gone a bit expensive.
Okay.
And they charge per person per room, which is a lot.
We need to talk about that per person per room, the sharing. That doesn't work.
It's a lot because remember there was a time where you would spend 500 rands in a room and you'll be 2. Now you can't do that. It's always more than 500. And that's a lot of money. Remember, we are in a pandemic. We don't have money. People have been laid off. People are struggling with, they have taken up on family responsibilities that they didn't have before. So it becomes a lot. So I just hope as we move, the accommodation part will be sorted because yes, we've had these discussions. People saying people mustn't aim high if you're on a budget. Just stick to budget travel.
Sure.
But it doesn't work like that. We need to be able to experience all the good things.
Of course.
I'm not a budget traveler, but I have a budget. So I ball on a budget. So so what I do, I look for all these 5-star hotel, 4 stars, and then I'll book way in advance so that I can be able to have those experiences.
Okay.
So when you're balling on a budget, it doesn't necessarily mean your life must be now poor. No, you can still experience those good things. So that is the argument I would make. Let it be cheaper for everyone to afford. Whether you book a year in advance, it can be my responsibility. I'll take that. But can there be that opportunity?
How much cheaper can accommodation really get? I mean, I'm looking at Uber prices. I mean, it's not like they're also going down anytime soon. And not Uber, sorry. What you call this?
Airbnb.
They're not really, the prices are not going down at all. How much cheaper can prices get if you're trying to go cheap travel? I mean, are you then living in bunk beds in a commune, or how cheap can you really get?
Okay, it will depend. For me, it depends what I want out of that city. So if, like, take for instance, when we go hiking, most of the time when we go hiking, we don't need 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
We just need a proper bed. We do go camping where there's no accommodation on the trail, but most of the time we like bungalows where you sleep in bunk beds that is cheaper. And then if you are traveling within a city, then the cheapest will be hostels. I'm not sure how are the prices now, but they've been the cheapest option. And then your B&Bs, which you would get for maybe 400, 600. Now it's completely impossible. There still are, but it's not gonna be what you want. Because remember, when you travel, you want to sleep in a bed that is at least at the same level as yours, or even better.
Sure.
So if you can't get that, then it's a problem for me. I wouldn't advise anyone to settle very low, because you still want to have that experience. You still need to be happy about it. So people are struggling at the moment, but yeah, there's still cheap accommodation. There still is, but the bulk is expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I mean, in December, I was backpacking with a friend, and it wasn't too bad backpacking. And every single day, I got to experience Cape Town, even though it was still lockdown and many people canceled their trips to Cape Town. So I definitely recommend people, going on holiday on a budget, still having a budget, but still being able to explore and still being able to enjoy as much as they can.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to, who are some of your favorite content creators right now? Look, the travel space is probably, I wouldn't say, the travel space has been halted because of COVID, and a lot of content isn't coming out quite a lot. So who are the ones that are your favorite now that are actually still putting out the content during a pandemic?
So there's quite a lot.
Okay.
So in South Africa, I will mention Newo, the travel video guy.
Yes, yes.
He's producing very good content. I loved the Malawi content he put out, the one that got him awards.
Yes.
It's been great. And also I love how he tells these stories. It looks like he's having fun, like he is just him having a good time, but the content is perfect.
I really think he probably has like 10 cameras around him, but he probably doesn't.
And when you watch him, you feel, okay, this guy.
He definitely has fun.
He's a lot, but yeah.
Yeah, well, if you're watching and listening, she definitely does like your content.
Yeah, I do. And then we have Lelo. Lelo is running a podcast, so she's been putting out a lot of content in interviewing a lot of good travelers, and then on the youth side we have I'll go with Golfari.
Yes.
Farai. She's been doing a lot of work even during the pandemic, and I love her style because she's very educational. Most of the time when I travel, I lose track of a lot of things because I'm not good at writing on the go. But when you read her blogs, you'll see that she writes as she goes, and then she gets to capture a lot of information that would have easily missed as a person who's traveling and also trying to create content. And moving out of the country, my friend, my girl Rayoba in Kenya, she's holding it down. I love her content.
What is her name?
Just Rayoba. That's Rayoba. Her handle. Okay. Her name is Winnie. Rayoba is the surname.
Okay, thank you for that.
Yeah. She's in Kenya and she's doing very well. She travels a lot in the SADC region. She's been to South Africa, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Malawi, so she travels a lot. And there's I love what Zimbabwe is doing now. Because remember, in the past years, we didn't have any content coming out of Zimbabwe. When you think about it, what can I do in Zimbabwe? And you think Victoria Falls, and that's it.
Yeah.
That has changed. There's a lot of content coming out of Lake Kariba, the national park, their big national park. I just forgot the name. And so the girls responsible for that, I would say, is the Afro Nomads. Yes, they are doing a great job showcasing Zimbabwe. And I've just discovered Rofa Padzo. She's also from Zimbabwe. And yeah, there's a lot coming out of Zimbabwe, and I'm loving it.
You definitely know a lot of people in the travel space, just in different places. I'm glad you mentioned some of the content creators that I also know, like Neo, Gofari, Lelo. So it really is interesting, the content coming out of them, and it really is commendable. Even yourself, I think you must take a step back and actually look at yourself and say, I've been doing good work myself.
Yeah.
I've been following you too during lockdown, and even now, we're still under a little bit of lockdown, but all the time there's always content coming out of you. So big ups to you also.
Thank you
for that. You recently hosted an Africa Travel Twitter Spaces.
Yeah.
What is that about?
So during the lockdown, I was one of those people, in South Africa, even if something is good, people always find something to just downplay it. So when we came out of lockdown, we said, oh, thank God, we're going to stop listening to everyone trying to be a host, a reality show host.
Yes.
So during lockdown, I was doing Insta Lives. So I would interview a lot of people that are in the travel space and also ordinary people that are traveling. So when Twitter Spaces came, and that was me, I only found out about that just a month. No, not a month, 2 months ago. So as soon as I found out about Twitter Spaces, I started listening to a lot of spaces, checked what everyone was doing, checked if it was something that I could do, because I love the fact that they limit the interaction between the audience and the speaker. You only get to interact with 10 people at a time.
Sure.
And that for me is the best decision they made, because with Twitter, with Insta Lives, what happens while you are chatting to Cyril, there'll be someone on the thread talking about something else, and then everyone else will get distracted. And as you are checking, you say, oh, these people are talking about something else. So it means they're not listening to what we are talking about. But now with Twitter Spaces, everyone is glued on what is being discussed. You can't respond until you're a speaker. So that for me is what drew me to Twitter Spaces. And also I love the fact that you get a wider audience. It's way better than Instagram, because now what happens when you have 10 speakers, it means you have access to people, to those 10 communities or audiences. So it gives you a wider range of listeners, and also you get to draw from a bigger pool of responses and feedback. Yeah. So I enjoy that a lot about Twitter Spaces.
Definitely. I wish there was a way that I could just get all the reminders to all your Twitter Spaces when you have them. But guys, please do definitely check them out. They really are informative. And it's really people in the industry just having chats.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that the Twitter Spaces that we do are not only focused on South Africa. So what we're trying to do, like we were saying, I know a lot of people outside of South Africa. We're trying to bring everyone together. We're trying to expose South Africans to a lot of content creators in Africa, so that they can be able to choose where to go next after the pandemic. Yeah. So we try to introduce new people every day. We have had Ghana, Namibia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. So we try every day, every week, to have speakers from different countries, so that we get to learn about a lot of countries, and so that people can be aware of what is happening where, so that they can start traveling within the continent. Because as we all know, we are starting from scratch. Yeah. We are trying to build. So anything that you can do as a content creator will help with that rebuilding of the continent. So that's what I'm doing.
Great. I definitely love that. What is Afro Travex?
Okay. So
Because the name I struggled saying it in the beginning, but now I'm just getting a bit of a hang of it. What is Afrotravix?
yeah. So Afrotravix, if you want to name it like the full name, you will have to go with African Travel Explorers.
Okay.
So, but I thought that's gonna be a long name to capture. So Afrotravix came about. So it's your ultimate travel marketplace. So what I'm trying to do with that website is to create a platform where people traveling to Africa will go into the website and click on Kenya and see who are the content creators in Kenya, who are the service providers of travel experiences in Kenya, and get to see all that under one roof. And then when they are undecisive, they can also check other countries and say, okay, Kenya looks good, but maybe let me try Ghana, let me try Senegal. So we're trying to get to a place where we have people from all these African countries listing on the website, so that people can have a one-stop shop.
Is this currently live now?
It is live, but I still need to do a lot of marketing.
Okay.
I think I need to work with people, because I've discovered that I'm lacking a bit when it comes to marketing. So I know what I want to do with that website, and I'm not rushing it. Yes, it's been live for 2 months, but yeah, it's been moving very slow. So I'm trying to do that. And the other element of the website is to make sure that we also represent the people that do not have a voice currently within the travel industry. So those will be your homestays and also your rural accommodation.
Yes.
So we got people that are in the rural areas that have got beautiful piece of lands, that have got beautiful stories to tell, but they don't have a platform because they don't have the internet, they don't have websites. So with Afrotravix, I want them to go in and list on Afrotravix for free, so that they can also get to enjoy the benefits of the rebuilding that we are all talking about. So because it doesn't help anyone if we're saying we are rebuilding, but only the same people that benefited before are the ones that are still going to benefit. So we're creating a platform where people that were not even represented, we have guys that are in the Wild Coast. Wild Coast is always my example, because I explore it a lot, and it's where I'm from. So we've got guys there that have been doing a lot of good work. They do hikes, they do kayaking. Wild Coast is just a stretch of beaches. It's always
That name.
it's always difficult.
The ocean.
Yes. So those guys have started doing kayaking experiences. You do canoeing, and I also saw tandems now. So it's developing, but there is no one featuring them on their spaces. So with Afrotravix, I want them to list on the website, so that people can know it's not always about Cape Town. And also when you go to the Wild Coast, it's not always about their main event in the Wild Coast is the Sudden Run.
Yes.
So people, the international visitors, they come in June or July, and then they do the Sudden Run, and then they leave. We're trying to introduce a lot of opportunities for them. So people must list with Afrotravix, and then the people that are coming in, they can see that there's a lot that they can do in the Wild Coast.
What can government and corporate do to decrease youth unemployment in South Africa? And I'm really asking from a content creator perspective. I'm noticing a lot of people turning to content creation as a means of making money. What can the government do though then to support those that are really trying to make money for themselves?
Yeah, it's a bittersweet position to be at as a South African youth, because as much as we know South Africa is full of possibilities, but in recent years we've seen that all that hope deteriorating because of the corruption that we see, and also people that do not even know what they're doing. So if you can even look within the travel space, you do work with the government departments, but they will not pay you.
Okay.
They will tell you it's not on their on their budget, but they still want your content. They still see that you can bring them a lot of value, but they're not willing to pay you for that. So that's one of the things that is rather sad, because we are trying to build, and I would say they need to invest more on content creators, because we are the ones that go out there and make sure that we uncover everything. Like, for instance, we went down to the Eastern Cape, chasing waterfalls, and we got to one of the department offices, like it's supposed to be your tourism information center, and they didn't even know the waterfall that was only 17 kilometers away from them.
Shucks.
And we had to stand our ground, because we knew there was a waterfall.
Yeah.
So we told them, no guys, there is a waterfall here, we just need directions. We know where it is, we just need directions. They said, no, I've never heard about that. And then only a guy that works at the gate knew about the waterfall. So we're fortunate enough to have encountered that guy. So we remember, if you're a tourism information center and you don't know about the activities or the offerings that are in your area, then that is a problem.
Big problem.
That is a problem. And then you have Noxolo who wants to uncover that, and you are still not supporting. Then you are defeating the whole purpose of trying to create employment, because most of the time we don't even need a lot of money. You just need someone who's gonna supplement what you have, because most of the time we use our own budget, the budget that we don't have, but because we're doing what we love, we make it happen. So I think what they can do is take a closer look at what is happening around you. See who is doing what, because most of the time they're not even aware what is happening around them. So keep in contact with the youth. Check on Twitter. Like now, Twitter Spaces, they can get a lot of information from there, because they can see who's holding spaces about what on which days. Once they've got that information, now they can start approaching those people, trying to see how can we collaborate, how can we make this better, how can we make sure that a lot of people benefit from that. So I think collaborations with the current content creators will be the right step to go, and also just trying to be there for support. It doesn't need to be money. If I need to record a podcast, where do I go? I need to pay someone for that. If the government can create spaces where content creators can have a place where they know this is what we're going to do, to use when we want to create content, that will be great. And also remember, now we are starting from scratch. I keep repeating this because it's our reality. Whatever money that people had before lockdown, they obviously don't have at the moment. So the youth is going to struggle even worse, because now they can't even come to their parents. My daughter can't even come to me because I don't have the money. So who's gonna come to their rescue? The government need to realize that they are not operating as in silos. They need to be within their people and understand their challenges. There are buildings that are being released now. Take those buildings, convert them to spaces where content creators can come in and produce the work. And remember, we are fortunate enough as South Africans to be able to work with international people. So that will also mean that people are getting exposure and opportunities to even leave the country and represent the country internationally. So just come to where we are and find out what's happening. That's that.
I definitely agree with that. I was chatting to somebody just yesterday, or somebody sent me a report yesterday with tourism KZN stats, and when they went away with influencers, and it really showed that some of I guess the government isn't really listening or watching as you're saying now. So I think a lot of people government needs to attend spaces. They need to look on Twitter, Instagram. A lot of people are doing amazing work. Just before we close off, what can we expect from you in the coming future?
Noxy.
Yes.
Okay. That's what most of my friends call
Noxy.
Yeah. So what's next? Okay. So I'm focusing on Afro-Travex and also focusing on building the Adventure Travel Tribe. So we are always planning trips, and we are always trying to expose people to the beauty of our country. So it feels good when someone that you didn't know comes back after the trip comes back and tell you, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known about this place. I wouldn't have had this experience. So it feels good, and it's something that I want to continue doing, because what I do, I introduce a lot of people, strangers that didn't even know each other, and now they end up being friends, and we are creating a community of travelers. We don't say people must travel with us all the time. As long as you're traveling, we are good with that.
Yeah.
So with AfroTravex, I'm trying to develop it to something bigger than what it is at the moment. So I'm excited about that. I can see the direction, but yeah, unfortunately, it's not stuff that we can talk about at the moment. But yeah, those are the two things that I'm looking forward to, and also just exploring a lot.
Can we book for trips through you, or you just show us the beautiful South Africa and the world, and we can't book with you?
Book as in you want me to
go on a trip with you?
With me?
If you're going to Kenya next week and you're like, hey, I need people to go with me.
Yeah, you can do that. But now the complaints I get is from people like you. If you're gonna want to travel with us, what happens if we're taking 12 people to Kenya? Most of the time that ends within the community.
Okay.
So yeah, people can still travel. Just join Adventure Travel Tribes on Instagram, and then we will be able to get in touch with you, and then you will know about the upcoming events. And yeah, anyone is welcome. It's been mostly women, but I always say it's not a women's league. We can do with guys as long as you have a roommate. We are cool.
Okay. And what advice do you have for any content creators, for anybody who does what you do?
Okay, so one of the things, I didn't mention that I'm about paying it forward. That is one of the things that keep me grounded. That's one of the things that are giving me purpose to continue. So what I've done, created a page on Instagram, which is meant for the youth of South Africa. So what I do, if I find something valuable, I just post there. So people can just log in onto Mzansi content creators. So it's mainly for teens. So the type of info that is there will be very light, but also very informative. So people can just follow that page, and then they will get the information that they need, because there I feature how to start a blog, how to create content that will create value for you and also for your audience, and also just things that will guide you on a day-to-day as a content creator. So that is the advice I can give. And also try and follow as many content creators as you can, because the type of content, even if we are in the travel industry, it's not the same. What Lelo puts out on her podcast is not the same as what I write on my blog, and it's not the same as what Toby does with her vlog. It's something completely different. Try and follow as many people as you can, and it doesn't need to be travel. There are people doing a lot of work on branding and marketing and music. They are putting up a lot of music content creators at the moment. So those are the people that you need to follow, so that you can learn the ropes and also have people that you can contact if you get stuck, and also get to experience what it's like to have a mentor. That will help a long way.
You've probably mentioned how we can get a hold of you. I mean, we've had an amazing interview already. You probably mentioned how we can get a hold of you, but how can we get a hold of you, interact with you, social media platforms, website, email address?
Okay. So on Instagram, I go by blackcase_. It's blackcasegirl_ZA. That's Instagram. And Twitter is blackcase_girl. And my email address for work is info@blackcasegirl.co.za. And what else? The website, yes, the website is www.blackcasegirl.co.za. That is the blog. And then for listing on AfroTravex, you go to www www.afrotravex.com. And yeah, I'm available on all of them.
Noxolo, it has been an amazing chat with you. I know you and I probably started chatting about 2 weeks ago, perhaps, about this podcast. So thank you so much for coming on B-Roll and having a chat with me. You know, we've had chats about where you grew up and the type of work you do, what it means being the youth of South Africa. So thank you so much for coming on to B-Roll. It has been really amazing. And this is not the last time I'm sure we're having a conversation. We definitely will be chatting some more. But keep up the great work. I think you're definitely doing amazing work. I'll keep following you on Twitter and on Instagram too. And also definitely AfroTravex. I definitely need to go on that too. Thank you so much for coming, and see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me, and I really appreciate it. I had a great time. Thank you.